Here's why we will never see another Allen Iverson in the NBA again. That's right, we will never see another player like Allen Iverson in the NBA. Now, before I get started, I used most of my information off a dope article from Bleacher Report that I'll link down below. When thinking about Iverson, I'm reminded of a passage from Bill Simmons' The Book of Basketball. In it, he discusses the legacy of Hakeem Olajuwon. He says, add everything up, and here are your odds that we'll see another Hakeem Olajuwon. A cajillion, pazillion, gazillion, fazillion, fragillion, nimillion to 1. You will see many reasonably close replicas of Jordan, and we've already seen 2 in Kobe Bryant and Dwayne Wade. What Bill Simmons is saying here is a player like Michael Jordan will come around far more than a player like Hakeem Olajuwon, simply because of how unique he was. Now, I'm not saying that they'll be as good as Jordan because as of now he stands as the greatest basketball player of all time, but I don't know, maybe in 50 years from now, someone might surpass him. Anyway, my point is, players coming into the league or growing up look up to players like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and some of the greatest players to play in the NBA, simply because why wouldn't you want to imitate the best? But Allen Iverson, I don't think you can imitate Iverson. Yes, you can have the crossover and the handles, and yeah, you might be 6 foot and average 26 points one day, but you won't see another player like Allen Iverson ever again in the NBA, and here's why. Number 1, Allen Iverson changed views on efficiency. Iverson still emerges as one of the most unique players in NBA history, arguably the most unique player in NBA history. Every player has a black mark on their play styles, no matter how good they are. Iverson's is his field goal percentage. He shot 42.5% from the field throughout his career. During one of those seasons in 2001-02, Iverson won a scoring title while averaging 31.4 points per game. To put that into perspective, Russell Westbrook is known as a player who can't really shoot, no matter how good the dude is. I know that he's one of my favourite players in the NBA, but let's be honest here, he's not the best shooter, we all know that. In fact, he has the name Russell Westbrook for a reason. Anyway, this year in 2016, Westbrook averaged 45% from the field and he only scored 23.5 points per game, compared to Iverson's 31.5 points per game. But listen to this, in 2001-02, Iverson earned only 2% offensive win shares per Basketball Reference, one of the lowest marks in his prime, yet he still gathered many MVP votes, and a scoring title trumped any concerns about shooting his team out of games. Which is something that I guess Westbrook has been known to do, shooting his team out of games. Iverson changed the way we as fans view field goal percentage. Let's just look at Carmelo Anthony in 2012-2013. He averaged 28 points per game with a 45% field goal shooting. Many criticized Melo that season for winning the scoring title without maintaining levels of efficiency. And he shot 44.9%. That mark would have been the 3rd highest mark of Iverson's career. So the way that we look at basketball has experienced in a huge shift in no time at all. We were thrilled by the crossovers and the explosive bursts of the basket. We lived with the ill-advised pull-up jumpers, just because we wanted to see Iverson take over each and every night. That was the way things worked back then. However, Iverson's style of play wouldn't cut it in today's NBA, and it's a major reason why he wasn't able to find a long-term home after leaving the Philadelphia 76ers. As a player who shoots around 40% from the field, he's typically asked to fire away less often by his coaching staff. That's just the way things work now. This isn't meant to diminish Iverson's accomplishments at all, not in the slightest. No one can take away his scoring titles, nor do they want to, and despite his efficiency, he was still an unquestioned superstar who drew tons of media attention and won over fans with each and every brutalizing crossover. You won't see another scoring champion like Iverson because he wouldn't be kept in the number 1 role for so long. Number 2, lack of height but still successful. Basketball is a sport for giant human beings, and it's tough for tiny guys to succeed unless they're blessed with insane skills or athleticism. Allen Iverson, well, he had both. According to Basketball Reference, 248 players in NBA history have stepped foot on the hardwood and been 6 foot or shorter. Out of all of them, only Chris Paul has earned more career win shares than Allen Iverson, and no one else comes within an MVP-worthy season of the two guards. Tim Hardaway and Calvin Murphy are the only 2 players to top 80 win shares. But how about if you saw these players by career points? Allen Iverson is over 6,000 points clear of the field, which is absolutely insane. But it's not just about the fact that Iverson is one of the best little guys of all time, if not the best. It's the fact that he was one of the last as a dying breed. In 2012-13, only 6 players 5'11" or shorter suited up for an NBA team. Ty Lawson, Nate Robinson, Isaiah Thomas, John Lucas, Josh Adkin, and Justin Dentman. The last 2 combined to play only 5 games, so they barely count. Here's a graph showing the number of players under 6 foot in the league by decade. As you can see, from the 1940s, it was very high, and then a huge decrease up until the 1980s. Then, when we go into the 1990s and we see players like Allen Iverson, Tim Hardaway, and a whole bunch of amazing superstars with their handles, they started to rise up again, and slowly they're falling back down. While players under 6 foot were quite common in the early days of the NBA, the same isn't true anymore. There was a spike following the ABA-NBA merger and the subsequent expansion of the league, but the little guys are becoming a rare breed. Iverson is one of the pound-for-pound greats, and there aren't likely to be many candidates in the coming years who can stop him. Shorter players are hard to come by. Most of them will definitely not have the talent and determination of Allen Iverson. Now, listen to this. In an interview with LeBron James himself back in 2013 via ESPN, and I quote, "They say he was 6 feet, but AI was like 5'10 and a half. Do we even need to say 160, 170 pounds? Do we even want to give him that much weight?" And he played like a 6'8" shooting guard. He was one of the greatest finishers we've ever seen. You could never question his heart. Ever. He gave it his all. AI was like my second favorite player growing up after MJ. And this was the exact words that came out of LeBron's mouth back in 2013. But LeBron James said it best right there, saying you could never question his heart. And I think that's 1000% true. It's tough to imagine that we'll ever see a player like that again. And if LeBron James said that Allen Iverson was 5'10", then I mean, should we really compare players like Kyrie Irving, Dwayne Wade to Allen Iverson? I don't think so. I think if Iverson was compared to anyone, it would be CP3 or Tim Hardaway, in my opinion. But even that, they're nothing like Allen Iverson. All they do which is similar is they're all leaders, they are all close to the same height, they all have handles and a quick crossover, and they all play basketball. So going back to what I said previously, Iverson is one of a kind. Seriously, try and name a player similar to Allen Iverson compared to other players. I can name a few for the other legends. Magic Johnson and LeBron James, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, John Stockton and Steve Nash, Scottie Pippen and Kawhi Leonard, but I literally could not name one player for Allen Iverson. CP3? No. Kyrie? No. Tim Hardaway? No. Just because you have handles and a quick crossover doesn't make you Allen Iverson. He was so much more than that. He was so much more unique than that, which leads me into my next point. Number 3. Allen Iverson was a one-man team. Now, before I hear all the Dikembe Mutombo comments, Mutombo came to the 76ers at 34 years old. If only they played together during their primes, they would have been a deadly 1-2 punch. Anyway, hear me out. Part of what made Iverson so special was his ability to completely carry a team on his shoulders at 6 foot tall. Take the 2000-2001 season when he led the Philadelphia 76ers into the NBA Finals, where they eventually fell 4-1 to an unstoppable Los Angeles Lakers squad, with arguably the most dominant player ever in Shaquille O'Neal and his duo of Kobe Bryant. For Iverson and his 76ers, only 4 players on that team averaged double digits in the points column. Aaron McKie, Theo Ratliff, the 34-year-old washed-up Dikembe Mutombo, and obviously Allen Iverson. Ratliff was the number 2 scorer on that team, putting up 12.4 points per contest. Iverson averaged 31.1 points per contest. Tell me that that's not carrying a team. I mean, if LeBron carried his 2007 Cleveland Cavaliers team to the NBA Finals and gets all the credit, surely Iverson does too, right? Yes, he definitely does. Not to mention the fact that Iverson was doing this at 6 foot tall, or in LeBron James's quote, he was doing it at 5'10". That's just ridiculous. You know what makes a star player a superstar? Well, the playoffs and the finals. In the playoffs, Iverson increased his scoring output to 32.9 points per game, almost 33 points per game, and only Aaron McKie and Dikembe Mutombo joined him in the above 10 category. I'd be selling the team short if I failed to mention Eric Snow, who was a fantastic distributor but couldn't score to save his life. However, the point still stands. This was Allen Iverson's team, and he truly went as far as he could to carry them. Want to take a guess how many plays in the 2013 postseason averaged more points per game than the combined output of the number 2 and number 3 scorers on their team? Carmelo Anthony barely did, but his New York Knicks weren't able to advance to the NBA Finals, failing instead to the Indiana Pacers in the conference semifinals. And then there was no one else. No one else in the entire NBA. One-man teams are a thing of the past, a thing that we barely see in today's NBA. It was a time when the league wasn't as deep, and big threes didn't exist with such alarming frequency. Now, it takes an entire effort to advance into the later stages of the postseason, and it's pretty much impossible for one player to carry a squad to the NBA Finals. 2010 Boston, 2013 Miami, 2015 Cleveland, and 2016-17 Golden State. I've got nothing against those teams. If I was a GM in the league, I'd be trying my hardest to create a super team as well. That's just how the NBA is today. Number 4. How Iverson changed the game. Lastly, Iverson changed the game by his looks and the way he dresses. I don't want to go in depth on this, but I will say, Iverson didn't just play for a team. He played for a city, family, friends, coaches, and he played for a culture. By the time Iverson came to the NBA, it was tight shorts, tighter lips, and rough play. But the 6-foot guard never blinked at the size of players or the ego of the front office. Iverson spoke, played, and dressed how he wanted to. And it may have hurt him endorsement-wise, but he always saw the game as a means to an end. I'm sure that this isn't just my favorite Allen Iverson moment. I'm sure this could be yours too. Let's just say, Iverson wasn't afraid to say how he felt or what he felt.
I know I'm supposed to be there. I know I'm supposed to lead by example. I know that. And I'm not shoving it aside, like it don't mean anything. I know it's important. I do. I honestly do. But we talking about practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice? We talking about practice, man. We talking about practice. We talking about practice. We ain't talking about the game. We talking about practice, man.
What Allen Iverson did, even if he retired without any rings, was truly special and won't be replicated for a long time, over the next handful of years and decades even. We'll see a lot of players come and go, stars will rise and fall, scoring champions will emerge, as will a few smaller studs, but there's one thing that we won't see, another Allen Iverson. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know down below in the comment section if you think that Allen Iverson is a one-in-a-lifetime type of player, or if I'm just exaggerating. If you enjoyed the video, it would mean the world to me if you could hit that subscribe button. I make a whole bunch of NBA videos, and I think you guys will love it on this channel. The channel is based on NBA. If you like NBA 2K, then go subscribe to my new channel. I've uploaded my first video on that channel, which is an IRL video. Just go show love on that video if you want to see me ball. The link is down below. As for all of you guys that are currently subscribed, I really appreciate all the support that you guys show on every single video. Let's see if we can smash 2,000 likes on the next video. If we can reach 2,000 likes, I'm going to upload the next video immediately. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace!